Welcome back, brew tubers, for another brew testing with Tyler. Today we'll be brew testing a double chocolate stout mini mash kit from Austin HomeBrew. Came with 3.75 pounds of specialty and some base grains, some malto dextrin, Belgian cocoa powder, some Galena hops, and then 5 pounds of dark liquid malt extract. Now the yeast I'll be using is a Bohemian lager yeast, and I'll be telling you a little more about that story later on. But in the meantime, I got my pot heating up to 160 degrees, so let's make some beer. Okay, so this kit comes with 3.75 pounds of specialty grains for this mini mash. It includes Maris Otter, Crystal 40L, Black Patent, chocolate malt, and then some black roasted barley. So you can kind of see, I guess, where it gets its dark color. That, along with the liquid malt extract, should give us a nice dark color along with some chocolatey roasty goodness. With the cover on, I'm gonna let the grain steep for 45 minutes at about 154 degrees. At one point I did have to go and turn the flame back on to kind of keep it to that temperature. Alright, so after 45 minutes, you can see the nice dark color we're getting in the wort, and the roasty, chocolatey aroma was just pouring out of this kettle. It was freaking amazing. So we're gonna go ahead and pull our bag out and let it strain out. Now I'm gonna take about 170 degree water. It's about 2 quarts, or it's a quart per every 2 pounds, so I'm taking about 2 quarts here to strain out any remaining sugars. And then we're gonna get our wort back up to a boil while continuing to let all that goodness drip into our kettle. Now we got our wort back up to boiling, and it's time to kill the flame and start adding our sugar. It's now time to add our liquid malt extract. In this kit we'll be using 5 pounds of the dark liquid malt extract, which I did soak in some warm water, so hopefully it'll come out easy. I love this part right here. Look at that extract, nice dark black. It just looks delicious. Alright, so I took a couple cups of water, put it back into my jug, shook it up, try to get out any remaining extract. And now we'll be adding 8 ounces of malto dextrin to our wort. This is a starch-based sugar which will help with the body and creaminess of our stout. Alright, now that all the sugars are in the pool, it's time to restart that flame and get the wort back up to boiling. Once we get back up to boiling, we will be adding 1 ounce of Galena hops, We'll be letting our hops boil for a total of 60 minutes. I am, however, going to be setting my timer for 45. Because then I'll be tossing in my Irish moss to help with the clarity of my beer. And that'll be done with 15 minutes left in the total boil. At this time I'll also be tossing in my wort chiller to get that sanitized and sterilized. And then we'll be setting our timer for 15 minutes. With 5 minutes left in the boil, we're going to be tossing in our cocoa powder. So I'm just going to kind of sprinkle it in and hopefully not get it all over everything, which kind of did, but I went around and kind of scraped it off my wort chiller and off the sides and make sure I don't lose any of that chocolatey goodness. With our cocoa powder in, we will set our timer for 5 more minutes. And then once that 5 minutes are up, we're gonna turn on our wort chiller and get it down to pitching temp. It's a beautiful, beautiful looking wort, isn't it? Our original gravity came in right around 1050. Alright, so I'll be using a Wyeast 2124 Bohemian lager yeast. The story behind this is I originally thought it was a double chocolate Bock. So when I bought the yeast for this, I bought the lager yeast. And I figured, what the hell, we're going to try it and see how it goes anyway. The first week I let it sit at room temperature, and it was kind of a slow starter. It took 3 days to really get to this point where it was actually doing something. I actually let it sit at about 62, 63 degrees for, I don't know, about 10 days, 10 to 12 days before I transferred it to my refrigerator and let it sit there for another month. After a month, here's a sneak peek on bottling day. Alright, so welcome back. Thanks for checking out my video on the Bohemian Double Chocolate Stout, which I'm just dropping the double and saying Bohemian Chocolate Stout. One less word. Saves time. Less talk, more drink. Anyways, so we're gonna doing the taste test. Like I said, I did about 12 days in the primary, and then I moved it to a secondary, and then I put it in the fridge and let it lager out for about a month before bottling day. So we'll give it a try, and we'll see what we got here. Very smoky and chocolatey. Got kind of a tannish head. It's roasted, I don't know, chocolate flavor to it. A little bit of hoppiness to it. I did the 1 ounce of Galena hops. You know, a little bit ahead on this one, but I tried my beer gun on this one, so my good samplers are still down in the basement, bottle conditioning, so it's my first time using the beer gun. Still carbonated, still good, a little bit ahead, you know, but you know, originally I bought the Bohemian lager yeast because I thought I was doing a chocolate Bock, and after finding out that I was doing a stout, I love stouts anyway, so I was pretty excited that I made that mistake, but I said, well, what the hell, I might as well use the yeast since I got it, and see how it turns out. Damn, this turned out pretty damn good. This might be one of my favorite, maybe best beers I've brewed so far. And it still is a rather simple brew. I don't necessarily know what by doing the Bohemian lager yeast. All I know is I've had a beer from Shiner Brewery in Texas called the Shiner Bohemian Black, and that beer is right up there with one of my favorites. And kind of told my uncle who's from down in Texas, I told him, I'm like, if I'm going to try to work on maybe seeing if I can do a Bohemian black myself, and you know, I might actually have to do a side-by-side comparison, just to see how close it is, because this is actually pretty good. Although I'm not sure with the Bohemian black what kind of style beer it is. Next time maybe I'll toss in some cherry, make it a nice chocolate cherry stout. That might be pretty wicked. So said that I want to send out some beers just to see what you guys thought, because I really haven't made too many contacts locally, you know, to pass my brew on, other than just friends and family. So a couple of you guys, if I haven't contacted you, I'm going to be contacting you, but I was just going to send out a couple of beers. So sitting outside, enjoying the beautiful day here in Wisconsin, drinking a nice Bohemian chocolate stout. I guess all I got left to say is, from my kettle to yours, Prost and good brewing.